happy-go-lucky stuff coming in from them. And yeah, we'll just see how this one plays out, methinks.
Great to see BlameF getting a bit of laughter out there and having some fun with it. For the side of Complexity, we haven't seen at all in the last 3 months them beating a team outside of their own region. You think about the loss to the Players, the loss to Heat, the loss to Heroic, AGO, and Na'Vi in this group stage so far. Can they at least end their record here in the groups with a victory on Ancient?
That's all it is. End your run on a high, end your season on a big note. And Complexity most certainly will try their hand at that. T-side start for them. Astralis with the pistol round. USP's pulled out across the board. Zipex with a little bit of utility in on his own right. And out towards mid where Complexity will look to go here. Config taps up the headshot of Floppy. Comes in good for them as they kick things off on the right foot.
Yeah, getting forced out to the open with a slight amount of util. So much pace in towards this cave control. Farling's hearing all the footsteps.
USP up against him coming out of the cave entrance. Can't quite land a kill shot onto Fang. BlameF getting a little bit closer on Junior's part, and indeed that man falls outside of the B door. Zipex caught on the reload. Grim with his kill. BlameF with a double up, but only the double. Fang trades it back. There's a 1v3 for Glaive instead. Grim picked up, so that's a frag back for his own right on the clutch. No kit in for him. There might be one drop. Never mind. Fang was going to lose very quickly, and Floppy almost gives up the fight himself, but ultimately comes up good for Complexity as they take the pistol round.
I'm very disappointed I didn't get another 4K from Config on the pistol. Would have just made it everything that we had it on the first round, we had it on the second. We didn't quite get it on the third. But overall, I like that shift of tempo for Complexity. You're fighting out from the elbow position. You win that first mid duel. You get up in towards lane, into Cheetah, over towards cave. You start taking back some of that ramp control. Very aggressive on the pistol.
Very well done to get him there. Eagles 5-7's SMG out for the likes of Glaive. Blame pushing hard back towards this short position. He's going to get forced out of dodge as he falls right back out towards this candles angle. The bomb goes down pretty effectively. Of course, rifles beat pistols, and the rifles are going to overwhelm on the Complexity side. So good start for them. Kicking things off well enough with the conversion that also should follow suit.
Yeah, you'd probably just have a 5v5 save or look for exit frags in this sort of position. You've got a bit more of a stack over to mid and A, and you get rushed in towards a B site. Exy,
no.
hang on a minute. This is now actually doable for the retake.
Oh no, Complexity, please. Okay, sprays through. Fang does come up with a decent couple of kills. Config still maintain the man advantage though. 3v1 as JT drops on the diffuser. Kill for Fang, pistol pulled out. Flame's gonna try cover him off guard. There's the Glock kill, knife pulled out for Fang. He's dealt with by Zipex, and he's done enough to at least hold the timer. But 5 casualties for Complexity, that's not fantastic.
Well, at the same time, it's still a force buy. You still get the round done. And in that clutch there, that is massive to win a 1v3 like that. Because Astralis have all the chances for them to just stick the bomb, to have the last couple of players to sit and pull distraction. And Fang makes that round possible. Yeah, it looked like it was just going to be a save, but Complexity don't get ecoed in that one. Don't lose the force buy. And because of that, it means that Astralis can't even buy it up going into round 3 now.
Almost did though. They were that close, Josh.
Yeah,
that
but it's
close.
almost. It's still about getting the conversion.
Astralis have only the P250s and 5-7 pulled out. Here's Config, and he's going to catch another kill on Grim to make up for not winning out on the pistol round. He's going to get plenty of pistol kills. He's dropped the bomb. What is going on? 4v3 Complexity just capitulating now.
Oh, this is getting so uneasy. And with Astralis with all these players down on A, if there's some more bait setups, there could still be some further damage. JT's alone.
He's also low, and he's dead. Fang comes up with a trade. Zipex working in from this donut position. Glaive and Blame will end up falling, but Zipex makes it a 1v1 up against Junior. What a tap! Oh my God, that was a shot. And that is a round for Astralis. There's your eco steal, Dweg.
Yeah, that one I'll accept. What was there? 2 P250s and a 5-7. There is hardly any investment, and somehow Astralis make that possible. What a sequence. Aggressive in A main to start it off with that 5-7. Zip coming through from that donut position. Beautiful tap onto Junior. And Complexity, they're now double eco status. You're gonna have to force by round 4.
We take it. We'll take it. Complexity won't. Tech 9s, the Eagles forced out for them. 2 rounds worth of heavy casualties sustained, and of course the reset against them in the previous. And by all accounts, Astralis should take control of this, but we have seen rounds come in with worse, mostly on the Astralis side. Molotov set, Glaive out towards the initial central box. 2 back turn towards him, gets 2 kills. Wrapped in upon by Junior, does drop that bomb. And Fang there with at least a decent trade. Farley holds on to control, and Blame F will deal with Floppy. Still 3 casualties, though. These are very expensive rounds.
Yeah, that's an excellent hold, though, for your A anchor. When you're playing out there from big box, you want to waste time, you want to try and multi-frag as best as possible, and buy time for the rotates, and that's exactly what finishes off the round. The players coming in from Donut, the players coming out from CT Spawn, and we don't get back into this force by situation where both teams just keep resetting each other, we go back and forth for the rounds, and now it plays out fairly smoothly. Complexity on the light eco, not investing very much at all, a P250 and a flash. They're hoping for anything, a kill, a bomb plant, maybe even drawing damage.
Bomb damage will come in minimally towards Junior's part of things as Charlotte start off the round once again. AK's working in. Flame does get caught over aggressive against Junior's part of things. Only 1 casualty goes the way of the T side though. Config with 2 lineups of the SMG and makes it a triple. Definitely playing his own stats as well. 9 frags for him on the board and 3 rounds to the board of Astralis up against the 2 of Complexity. The guns come back in for the T side line.
Yeah, typically see Fang actually perform the best on Ancient out of the majority of maps in the pool. One of his best ones when we compare the rest in the last 3 months, and just knowing that he's had a very solid game on Dust 2, was able to perform at a fairly high level there on Nuke. He's going to have to be a guy we watch out for again when it comes to the 3rd map.
Complexity set themselves up initially against the utility places of Astralis. Well done on the smoke down on the elbow. Praise from Zipex coming up good with no damage. It's Glaive actually that comes up with the kill instead towards Grim. Zipex a little bit over-aggressive in ramp, and JT. Flash assist from Floppy, get the casualty back, and follow up on Farlig is also found. So 4 on 3 now for the Complexity side. Config does find a backstab, however, deals with Fang back towards elbow. So 3 versus 2 now as Junior trades on Config the same.
This is hyper-aggressive. Fights being taken out from deep of A main, down from the bottom of middle, now Glaive losing that out from the candles position, and Astralis are just posting everything, just trying to really crunch down, make it uncomfortable for Complexity to even hold in their defaults, and they get punished for it. Complexity now having a free bomb site on A, get that bomb down, Blame F just hold the M4, bring it into the next.
Yep, there's the plant. That's going to be a save here from Blame. He's got a little bit of cash on his teammates. They probably buy around this rifle here. Complexity with their 3rd to equalize against Astralis, and you can very clearly see what the pace is for this matchup. It's going to be an all-out brawl between these 2 teams.
Yeah, it is shaping up to be that sort of way. And especially when the economy management isn't perfect. When you get off to just the first few rounds of the map, you start trying to reset one another. And just even having a look at some of the track record from Astralis in the last 3 months, they've got victories over Entropic, Big, Ents, Fnatic, G2, Heroic, which was only a few days ago in the Pro League, which was their first game, or I should say their second game that they played. Ancient got played as the map pick for Astralis, the first in that best of 3. And then we obviously saw the Na'Vi result, which was a bit of a slammer. They got 3 rounds on their T side in the first half start. They would hope that that doesn't quite happen to them again.
Well, we're at pace at the moment. Comes up on both sides once again. Astralis to reinvest, as we mentioned before. Config very aggressive on this one. Smokes out towards elbow to extinguish the flames put up there initially. Watch out towards the window angle and lane where the T's could also attack from Glaive on the crossfire. So both their bases covered and trade potential was pretty high for them. Pretty passive under the default line for Complexity. The bomb's still back at spawn.
A lot of vibes of when Ancient first came into the pool, how hyper-aggressive it was on the CT side. We're seeing it here from Astralis. Config just going to get that 1-for-1, try and fall back. He's got a teammate to peek with him. Grim just can't peek. As soon as that incendiary comes down, he doesn't have the HP to work with.
Aggress out towards lane instead. Almost catch JT. USP pull down against Floppy. That's 2 players that Blame F can hunt for. Nade towards the position. That probably no, doesn't quite catch JT, actually landing on the lip of that boost up. Zipex's nade will eventually get his kill, double up against Floppy. USP pulled out against Grim for the triple. The AK up close and personal against Blame F will at least find that 1 good trade back, but still can't see where the next CT is at. The bomb almost goes down here. Junior actually takes 5 points of HP. Grim trying to wrap that corner eventually. We'll get to a 2 versus 2. But HP numbers on the T side do not look fantastic. The USP pulled out for Farlig for good reason here. Bomb attempted to plant. I think on the safe side ahead of the smoke. Either way, Glaive's going to get Grim. Junior in the 1v2. Needs to hit both headshots. Not going to happen. Yeah,
very awkward there for the T-side players. You don't really have the time to work with for to slow it down even further, you have to try and get the bomb plant, fight as many of those CTs as possible. You can't keep your eyes everywhere. You've only smoked off the short position, long still exposed, so is it in from cave, and that ramp position, the slow walk comes up. Glaive's able to finish off the round, get Astralis up to 4. And for Complexity, you're not working with a massive amount of money staying alive, so you have to half buy. Try and get as much out of this hero AK as possible.
It's just one rifle to work with. We have seen hero rounds come in the past. In this series on the Complexity side, but they've lost a lot of map control to mostly stack up towards the A half of the map. You mentioned how it did look like it was that last round, especially the old school style of play from Ancient when it first came into the pool, how the CTs always pushed up. They're all the way in lane this time. One player watching at the mid control to watch out for elbow. Farlig a bit more passive in his own right. AWP pixels away from seeing JT. The moment he pops his head out, he's a dead man.
Yeah, that's a very good shot. And when you're not working with any util, you just got a dry face, and a lot of these duels, Config might get caught repositioning, getting out towards that pit control, gets the first with the second, bomb gets dropped, makes it easy, you've got a teammate with him, and the tap finally comes through onto that last player. 5-3 start coming through from Astralis, but was just a hero rifle round, not a massive amount gained from Complexity. Now they can get the full invest.
Drive-by USP, not bad, Config. 2 rounds to separate. Astralis definitely in the lead, and Complexity, as you mentioned, with the hero AK buy, I'll probably have the guns out for this next one. We'll see what the buy looks like in a moment's time here. Very nice shooting again. Yeah, we will see the full AKs across the entire T-side board. So, guns in the standard, 1 AK save for Astralis. Placed out towards Big with Config again.
Oh, so much util going toward that lane portion. JT just can't do anything. Double incendiary, double HE, and that spam. You're down to 7 points of health before you've even got a contact.
I don't heard the tag on Blame F at least, so there might be some information gained. Meanwhile, smoke towards top mid. The candles will fade. Farlig joins the crossfire, looks in ahead of Cheetah into the lane position. Fang picked up by Zipex, so start out for the CT side once again.
It's so dry on the util. You're working with a flash and a smoke. Config's thinking about getting slightly aggressive, catching JT off guard, and even with a crossfire that's being set up in lane, this is already going to deal with him.
Grim to 4, Blame to line up 2. Okay, Floppy flops around the corner and lands another by headshot. 4 versus 3. Zipex pressured a little bit as Farlig falls. The backstab from Config's a little bit late to the party. The bomb should commit to the B site, might probably get plot if safely here. Smoke's down. Zipex hoping that something comes ahead of the smoke itself. The bomb planted should go down. Config slowly wrapping in those, just missed the mark on Floppy. They will catch the mark on Junior though, never mind. Headshot for the T-side player. Advantage now for Complexity. Zipex caught off the same. Junior with a double, and Glaive in the 1v3.
Just trying to see if he can get closer towards that bomb itself. Junior with a peek out, ends up with a triple. What an insane round, individually speaking there for Complexity. Think about the advantages that got lost so early on, with JT taking so much damage, with the first fight being lost out from mid, then the AWP comes in. That's a 5-on-3 advantage, and Astralis just dropped the ball. They're not quite as tight. They start over-peaking ever so slightly, and with that in mind, it allows Junior and the rest of the gang to really capitalize.
A big round from Junior to add towards this one. Complexity with their 4th. As has been the case of the series so far, throughout the course of the entire series as well, it's always been a close affair. Back and forth rounds between Cole and Astralis. A couple of streaks here and there. 1 round to separate the 2. Frag found by Complexity very early here. Blame F giving up his position, trying to hunt for JT on a common pre-fire angles, and he gets the kill through the smoke. So 4 versus 4.
And more spam continuing, another HE placement. Blame F getting super aggressive about this. There is an opportunity now for Grim to start striking out from elbow, but he plays a back passive, doesn't have a teammate to work around with him to start getting some of that util over higher. And that means that Glaive could just position himself aggressively in mid, keep their eyes down.
The rotations back from Complexity, meanwhile out towards the A main position. It only got Config on the 5-7. Which, under normal circumstances, I would say that would be an easy kill, but we've literally just seen him dismantle an entire rifle round off the basis of a 5-7 in main. So the circumstances certainly right for him. Glaive will join him in the donut position. Backs off from mid. Complexity take it back.
They're just playing up onto the side, giving a lot of respect forward, and now the initial defensive coming through.
Spray through against Floppy, doing some damage. Lines up 2 in the end. USP pulled out against Junior. His AWP misses, and Glaive forced to play a ring of roses with this player. Call for backup. Junior does get his kill in the end, but the bomb dropped in the open. Grim forced to strike out of main. Config falls. 2 versus 2. Blame and Zip. Last 2 players out here in towards this mid and temple position. Out temple, Blame will fall. With Zipex trying to catch off the bomb carrier. Junior drops 13 seconds. Grim's got to take that fight, and Zipex knows that he can't win. He can win on the timer alone. It does get picked up by Grim. I think he'll just have enough to get back there and plant the bomb. So it will be a retake and a 1v1.
As it coming through from that CT spawn angle, how quickly does Grim reposition? Looks like he wants to go aggressive on this 1v1 phase. Swing comes out wide. So much damage land onto Zipnix.
5 HP, and he continues to lean in, catches the crack angle and almost takes Grim. 2 HP for him to stay alive, but he is alive with a 3K to his name and a 5th round for Complexity.
Yeah, this is actually... Okay, it's a scrappy game, but Complexity are pulling through. When we think about the start that Astralis had, these last few rounds, they have been working together very nicely. Grim and Junior, again, dynamic duo to try and recover that sort of round, to get the bomb plant in, to win one of those clutches again. And for Astralis, now the money's just depleted completely. You have to eco going into round 11.
Yeah, no choice in the matter. Again, expensive rounds coming in. Complexity should make this easy pickings as well. No major upgrades except for the P250. In fact, more damage comes in from JT against his own team, let alone the CT's taking a fray. There's a backstab from Zipex. Might provide some interest, maybe a knife kill. Here in the footsteps, there are 2 players up top mid. Engages against them. Nope. Grim checks angle at the right time. And there it is, Complexity in the lead.
And we've had a few TKs over the course of this best of 3. The majority of them, I think all of them actually, being on the side of Complexity. But that's all right, as long as you seal the round and there's nothing too silly about it. And now you start thinking to yourself, 6 rounds T-side, you're getting rounds in a row. We only actually see a 42% round win for Complexity in the last 3 months. This is looking very healthy for them.
Yeah, they got control. T-side working forwards here with the AKs as standard. There are a couple of masters out from the Astralis boys. Just got Jason bringing the M4 to the table in mid and almost getting a double for it. Only 1 to JT as Fang finds the 1-for-1 response.
Just working with the edge of the smoke and actually coming up fairly decently there. Being able to drop 1, even put a lot of damage down onto Fang. And things get very silent here for Complexity. They've gained this lane control. There's nothing further aggressive. This is probably the most passive round that we've seen from Astralis the entire map so far.
Right across the board here for the Complexity side, leaning in over at Kenny. It's a Bex in the corner, detected by Floppy, and Floppy gets the kill for it. Again, a great way to enter into the B side with flashes going in that catch Blame F completely blinded. Bomb should commit sooner rather than later here. They hear the footsteps though, and Blame dishes out some decent damage for it.
Now, Fang's waiting to cut rotates off in the bottom of mid position, trying to force any of those Candles players out into the open. It's not going to happen. Everyone's coming through the back lines instead.
Reload allowed for him. Farlig now joined by Config here. Taps and bursts continue to come through at the forward player. The flash is going over, the smoke's down. They do catch Fang off guard. 2 to line up for Blame F, and he's got them both. Now suddenly Junior alone, the 1 versus 3. All 3 players coming from the same position, but his lineup's not quite as good. Blame with a triple. Astralis equalize again.
Yeah, that really shouldn't have happened. When you think about that sort of stance, that Fang doesn't spot anyone coming down from mid, doesn't really need to start over-aggressing out from Candles, can just play the man advantage, come back into a lane position, try to assist out from the bottom of ramp or in from Cheetah, and as soon as that gets watched by Farlig, notice the way that Blame F just shows up massively out from this long control. Players not really peeking together on their contact, and a triple comes through from the FAMAS. Astralis make that retake look easy when really it wasn't at all, and they didn't even have much util to work with.
Great isolation of the duels, credit to them. But Mars as well got the majority of those frags, so again, credit to Astralis. AK's on 2 now, M4's across 3, smoke set in for Config's part. AK back turn to the smoke, expecting there to be some presence moving in from the T sideline out towards this lane position. As more CTs aggress, they'll recognize that's not the case. In fact, Zipex gets a kill on Floppy. JT pulls the trade it. Farlig's close to position. Okay, that's a hell of a transfer. 4v2.
Makes that look really simple. And even Config's just aggressive down here in from elbow. They've got a flash, but they might just not use it at all and go in dry with this starts. Do they even pre-aim Config?
AK swings forward, gets his kill. Indeed, they do pre-aim it, and Fang forced the trade back on the trader. So 1v2 for the man. And leaning in towards the mid-control as well. Farley maybe even press ahead of the smoke. Fang has an open and free B bomb site. He's not aware of it just yet. Playing right into the hands of Astralis here. Farley so ready for the kill, and that's what he'll get. Triple up for him in this round. Astralis regain the lead.
And this is only the third time that we've seen the likes of Farlig here on Ancient for the Astralis side. Saw some okay performances from him when it came down to the heroic game. Overall against Na'Vi, no one really performed individually on that marker. Right here, though, being able just to keep that pressure on. And notice the way for Astralis, it is just constantly taking map control away, taking the bottom of ramp, the bottom of lane, in towards elbow. It's making it very uneasy for Complexity to gather map control in the first 30-odd seconds of the round.
They managed to gain control of the map advantage in this early part of the round. Notice Bex falling, quick rush in with the eco base. JT wrapping the corner alongside Floppy getting his kill. Glaive trades back alongside Farley coming in. They'll be able to mop up the rest of the T-side players. 3 casualties taken. Complexity can be happy with that. No bomb plant gain though. So the buy will be a little bit flaky going into the last round of the half.
It could be looking at a fairly even scoreline. It depends if really Complexity can show up when it matters the most. Here for Astralis, that healthy looking 9-6 will definitely be on the prize. Whether they're able to do so comes down to what the buy-up for Complexity can bring forward in this round of 15. AKs across the board in for the T side. An opening man advantage, some wiggle room would really be appreciated. And even Config, he's getting aggressive again.
Grim with those flashes forward, trying to see if he can bait in Config and get the kill against the man. So good read so far from Complexity. That nade missed out entirely out on the part of JT's position. Angles held together for now. There's the spray through from Config. Grim down. That's the start.
And very clever. Get that flash high over the top. Don't peek in dry. And now for Complexity, you're clearing out all of these cubby positions in from lane. The dry face on towards long. That's the bomb being seen. At least they deal with Blame F.
4-on-4 situation and falling back out of position. The bomb will try commit into this cheater angle. Try get to that B site. Farlig and Ziff now leaning in with Config the same to try and join the 3-man stack on the B site. Glaive expecting them to make their way in from mid, and they'd be right to assume so. Smokes will go down. They will suppress some angles of the CT side. A crossfire held together on this one. Config will get Floppy, and Farlig will find JT the same. So there's that 3-man stack coming into effect. 4 versus 2. Fang could catch off the likes of Glaive, but that bomb being dropped on the B site means they've got to go in with the 2-pronged attack and regain control of the situation. Maybe the noise being made back here towards top mid might force them forward. They check Junior though, and as Ifex gets that kill, Fang surely should have no chance of doing this, and indeed he doesn't. 9-6 at the turn of the half. Astralis once again in control against Complexity in the third and final map. It's all down to the second. We'll take a break. We'll come back for the next.
I think he has changed a lot, to be honest. I think that we got a way more like aggressive player, and we got a way more focus on the AWP and how he plays around the AWP. I think that it's a good change for us, because I think that we needed that an aggression on the server, because I was usually the one doing it before, and now I have like another player that can do it with me, and it feels better for me. So I'm more like an X-Factor player compared to me just running first all the time before.
Are you prepared for the forces I'm about to bring? Cause I'm the boss of all bosses. I penetrate your thoughts and fill them with doubt. You gon' feel where I'm coming and feel what I'm about. If they come in with the drama, I'm wheeling them out. Cause I ain't about to have somebody here stealing my clout. I keep my friends close, enemies closer. Cause that's the way it is and the way it's supposed to.
But they've still maintained it as close as they can possibly get it here, Dwayne. So in the second half, we see them still taking this series at the very last hurdle.
I've got a little amount of faith. The reason for that is only a couple of days ago they played Nambi on this map. It was their map pick. They were down 3-12 at the turn of the half and managed 10 rounds on their CT side to keep it as close as possible, but not quite take the map outright. So with that in mind, if they can get off to a good start, if they can start wiggling through to really start encroaching on that comeback, they have to do it right here. Up onto the pistol round, we're seeing a kit, a couple of flashes in from JT, and for Astralis, is it just straight in towards the mid control? They've got a couple of players already swung out quite wide from elbow.
Initial faces into the CT side line. JT with 2 flashes on his pouch with the defense kit also there for him. Config with a quick peek and pick. Fang to fall. Grim with a responsive and leans in for a little bit more. Spotting Glaive up towards top mid. Meanwhile, the T storm the A side. The distraction pulled by Glaive and Co. has allowed them to take all sorts of manners of map control. The bomb should go down from here.
And the bomb's going to take a little while to get over, and while that's in play, look at BlameF, taking the approach of getting deep in towards CT, slowing down some of these rotates, and now even out from mid, they've got plenty of options to work with. They're actually sending this bomb back away from AJ.
Very unorthodox strategy from Astralis, but it might still work because they've drawn all attention away from the B site and they're going to go via spawn. So as Grim sees nothing in mid and they see no execution capitalized upon by the A site, they saw how deep Astralis went. They must recognize that they're going to go back in, and this lane control from Grim could be everything. He's going to hear the footsteps inbound, take a face, take some damage against Glaive, not quite get the kill. See that bomb carrier the same. They can counter rotate if they can take Grim back down. It's floppy on a site, however, that gets BlameF, and JT trying to lock out some decent kills. Grim drops the bomb all the way back in at lane, so a 3 versus 2 complexity, taking all sorts of control of the pistol. Glaive does get a good headshot jumping and has room to breathe if he goes back to the A site.
Yeah, surely gets the bomb down, at least in this sort of scenario. Very well read there from Complexity to start bringing members away from A in towards mid, and that information from Grim, not only did he gather it, he got 3 kills.
Glaive's read this so well as well, expecting both players to come in from Donut or from the CT spawn. He's going to hear both sets of footsteps soon. Around the corner, low HP, tap on the bomb once. Checking all corners, they're not checking main though. The fuse not being stuck entirely. The kit is on JT. Swing out, see that player. Perfect headshot, perfect timing. And Glaive, patient as ever, wants to try baiting Floppy a little bit longer. Tap second time on the bomb defuse. Kit now in his position, and Glaive just continues to force him out of position. A third tap comes in. The jump face gets more info, and there's just no time left for Floppy on this one. Glaive, the 1v1 clutch, played to perfection, defends the bomb. Priority number 1 as Astralis take the pistol and take 10 rounds.
That was absolutely marvelous. The way that you're playing that 1v2, so calm in the situation, not overfighting. It even took a little while for Complexity to realize, where did that bullet come from? Was it down there in Temple? Was it over towards the spawn position? And even with the kit in play, you just keep toying. You keep jiggle peeking, getting him off the bomb, making sure he's not sticking the 5-second. And overall, it felt like that round was just swinging. Astralis with the entries on A, but then the return from Grim in from that mid default when he went further aggressive and caught them out into the lane position. Overall, though, Astralis made the round happen.
A 10-6 as a result. Force buy-in for Complexity. Zipex and BlameF extending out towards lane, catching Junior already. Killing the man off and kicking things off for the T side one more time. Weaken weapons across the board for Complexity, so not much they can do to try and counteract it other than just hope for an aggressive face and a kill on a crossfire. One of which does come through for Grim, but he loses Fang in exchange, so 2 for 1.
Astralis can just slow this down, force Complexity to continue fighting, because when you're down in the man disadvantage scenario, you have to keep going. You've got to start taking some risks, and it might even get set up for a gamble stack. You've got a couple of players in from the Candles position to crossfire, Floppy to hold and defend out from the B side, but if a full X is coming through, he at least needs a couple of kills if he wants to make the round doable.
As Util down, Floppy forced out position. Farlig and Zipex will start moving in amongst the site here. Control damage is coming in against the likes of Farlig, but Floppy and JT will take similar amounts in return as the bomb will get planted. They have control of the site itself. Complexity is suppressed behind these smokes. Can't really make a move inland here. Grim gets caught. Head of the smoke. Headshot found. 2 left standing. Probably should be their demise here. We'll see them peek and prod and hope for something to come out here, but as Floppy does get Zipex, the time just continues to tick away. He's got the player in the kit. Wrapping in, checking corners, checking Glaive, seeing in. Swing at any moment for Farlig and BlameF. We'll get the final kill of the round. So there you go. Second on the board in the half for Astralis.
The difficult factor with City side sort of force buys in that situation is normally we say, safe. You're not going to go for it. once you've already committed to a somewhat aggressive position in short or in the long position, getting out of there can be so difficult because there could be someone at the pillar or someone from cave to try and swing out or even ramp in that position. So you kind of just need to keep fighting and hope that somehow you're able to get those trades together, that you can force those fights out into the open. And for Astralis, they're getting closer and closer to that all-important 16th, Jay.
Mac 10 into the cheater position for BlameF. In the floppy and crossfire. 1 frag, 2 frags, not quite the third. But plenty of cash game with that Mac 10 regardless. Another one's going to swing in and try to get the rest of the kills. Bomb will go down, effective, efficient, and not really much left in this one for Complexity. Should be 12 to the board of Astralis. Talk about Complexity in their CT half of things, how they brought the comeback against Na'Vi. We've yet to really consider how Astralis' T half will go, and I mean, we haven't seen a lot more competent T halves in recent times. So, seeing these first 3 playing out, is this going to be a bit more of a one-sided affair for them?
Yeah, even think back to that heroic game. They went even 8-8, 8 on the T side, 8 on the CT. So, yeah, they've been consistent on their T sides over the course of the group stage, so that doesn't bode that well for Complexity. But another thing that is in the back of my mind, Jay, isn't quite the CT to T side split. It's Complexity in the second halves. Think back to what happened on Nuke. They got, what, 2 rounds in the second half? And that was it. They lacked with the consistency. They didn't quite have the flair to bring it back. I'm now looking here on Ancient, and even 2 rounds with this kind of a scoreline is got to not only be pushed further, but is 2 rounds even doable?
So far, we have 6 rounds in the difference. Lexi have to buy back to try and get some of those. Lil's on 2, AK's on 3, Mac 10 for JT. Played in from the previous round, of course, playing a bit more of a bonus buy on his own part. Complexity getting Conflict to make his way in from elbow. He's going to hear those footsteps, I believe, coming up from the window. We'll still watch out for it. Flash forward, detecting, killed off effective.
Yeah, just playing anti-flash with 2 players up from that Widow position, still spamming through that elbow smoke. Grim does fall, and Fang's trying to get out of there safely. Another wide swing, and Glaive gets a couple of kills.
Not even supported by a flashbang. Detected Fang gets his double, and Complexity just overwhelmed by the IGL of Astralis, let alone their star players here. Glaive is having a hell of a game, still up there alongside Config. Don't even need Blame after frag.
They're gamble rotating here. Look at the position of Complexity. They're playing no 1B, because they know 3v4 position, our in-game leader JT's only running a Mac 10. We don't have much util between us. Let's gamble hard. Let's play 1 in candles, 2 on A, and if they go for the B site XE, hands up and we just save. If not, they run into the stack, and there might be some level of competitive nature to recover this round.
45 seconds remaining. 4 players that remain of Astralis will wait back here in lane. Start to make their moves into the B side. No one from Complexity is holding. No one's even close.
You've got to imagine the best that they can hope for now is a spam through from Floppy, deny the bomb, but even that, it's too high risk. For him to start relocating away from Candles without support, just hold on to the weapons, bring him into the next round. That's an easy site take. Astralis going into B, completely underwhelmed. No
choice for Cole but to save at this stage. Maybe JT's Mac 10 might extend out, try grab one of the drop weapons. Either his teammates or from the T side, depending on where they've been dropped. I mean, they're all the way up out in mid, so there's possibilities available to him. Yeah, it might be an AK there from Config, but then I don't know if he brought a Galil or an AK into this round, but either way, possibility for JT, and you can see him starting to move forward against that position. Farlig might cut him off depending on how that plays out, and yeah, they will engage against each other. Farlig will get forced back. And JT's going to land the kill for it, so there you go. There is an AK for Complexity.
Yeah, Blame F to go down as well. It's a decent round when you consider the fact that they were already gamble stacking, and as soon as the site got taken, you were just going to go for the save. And they've got to buy it off the back of 3 rifles being saved in, try and see if they can replicate going into the next. But you're right about this dry jewel. Glaive just peeking once that smoke starts to bloom. No flashes, no support with a teammate, and just brute forced it.
Fang was read like a book there. Well played from Glaive. Double op set up in for Complexity for the first time in this map. I've seen it over the course of this series, especially on Dust 2. Jump face from Config trying to spot out Fang here in the mid position. The M4 does fight against that player just at the edge of the smoke. Backs off towards Pit. Waiting at coming, the Molotovs will try to drive them away, and Config will get the kill in the trade.
Just force that fight as soon as you get that molly out from the pit position. BlameF just getting boosted and jumping over, just clearing out the majority of Cheetah. Haven't had many cases in which Complexity is slightly aggressive on this. They might actually have the forward thinking of starting to over-aggress in ramp and catch the T's off guard.
Molly's on towards the cave entrance. Astralis slowly but surely picking away at the map control that Complexity have. AWP, a junior. Ready for Zipex. Incendiary's down. There's Floppy with a kill back. Actually, Zipex too distracted by the Incendiary. Sent high and dry. Grim finds Farley, meanwhile out towards mid. Config ready for the trade back, and we'll be able to open up the A site. But with Blame stuck here in lane, that bomb outside of the B doors, Config's going to have to rejoin him. They might have to play towards the B site.
It's the time to. BlameF's got to try and make a play, turning away for the Addy flash, and actually there's another one to come in over the top. Config now just trying to get as much damage forward of this, and even the aggression from JT towards lane might just cut him off at the surface.
They're ready for this position, turns away at the wrong moment, but did spot Config on the way out. So that's info for Complexity, and 25 seconds for Config to get this clutch. But essentially has to ace clutch this from here. Flash forward, looks out towards route. JT not dead to rights. He gets his own kill, and Complexity get there first in the CT half.
A very good effort for Config there, not to just run through the smoke, but instead try and adapt onto that duel for JT, because you're going to buy next round anyway. Whether you get the bomb down or not, whether you're able to win the round, you're still going to buy. So try and just limit as much of what's being held in as possible. Try and recover those AK drops too. Now for Complexity, they have got to start here in the second half. What can they do with it though, Jay? They have to start spiraling rounds up in a row, and we're not talking about a few. We're talking more than 5. We're talking quite a healthy amount of rounds in a row.
Have to see how far they can go. A lot of work to be done between then and now. Guns pulled in by both sides, as you would expect. The MAC-10 of Config still being the weakened element. Astralis have some limitations here and there. Complexity. They follow up out with the regular rifles instead. MAC-10 getting domed in immediately by Fang. Config turns to fall. Glaive predicting Grim so well, but can't get a kill against him, and Fang comes in with support. He's double up in this round. And a 4v3 situation. The A site has fallen. Complexity still have control.
A really important swing there from Fang, just to back up his teammate and to allow more assistance down there from the mid control. The bomb can get planted. Does it get spammed by any of the donut players?
Not apparently. Flashes forward as they try and reposition for the retake. You still have one player of Grim paranoid that there's going to be some sort of mid-lurk play from Astralis. They don't have all the info. They do have Farley goes. That's 2 left standing. 1 left standing as BlameF falls into Zipex. The clutch minister, just too much to clutch on this case. Gets Grim alone. And Complexity have 8.
Well, you can see there that that standard position on the edge of that candle smoke is being held quite frequently, so Astralis just thinking, let's spam through it. Let's try and catch that player off. And Fang's the one to over-aggress, to give the 5-on-3, and then the information's pulled up. You've got mid-control, you're hearing those footsteps out of A main, you just start swiftly rotating players over to position, and not getting silly about it, not aggressing through the donut smoke, waiting for the rotates out from city spawn, and just chime in together. Perfect utility usage up onto that retake. For Complexity, that's probably one of the tightest rounds that we've seen from them yet, just with how clean it was.
They're finally getting a basis to build up to here for the CT side. Double Ops back in play with the AKs to back it all up. Fang, Floppy, and JT. The automatic weapons in their hand, Astralis. The upgrade pistols here and there, a half by basis for them though. Apex will try get an opening frag. Kick things off outside of the B doors. But nothing's found early for this team.
Yeah, well, Complexity, you've got to be feeling quite hungry in the matter of concealing rounds in a row. You also need to be sensible in an anti-eco round like this, where you're not completely over-aggressing and playing with too much confidence, because that's really where Astralis can steal one away from you. And knowing that there's still some util, there's some Kevlar to back up these pistols, this could still be a very deadly round by the Danes.
Walk forward for Glaive, out towards mid. Fang evades him. Looks to Config and lands that headshot. Easy. Start out. In for the rest of them. One will commit out towards candles as well. There is one player of Grim who's watching intently towards Maze, unsupported by the CT side. JT smoked off, so he might have to call in attention, and that's exactly what he'll do. Eventually, Grim will start to reposition himself, but also look back towards site. If Glaive times this right, he get both him and the donut player. No, Grim with a kill, 5 on 3. Might be low HP, so there's at least a kill or 2 coming in for the T-side line, but nothing major it seems. Still the advantage maintained by Complexity. Damage being done to both Blame and Zipex here.
Oh, this is very winnable, especially if they fight down onto these rotators. Trying to get that bomb down is going to be difficult, but it's a 1v1, and BlameF's got the orb.
I think he's also seen the player as well. Tap once, force forward against Floppy. We'll have to stick the bomb plant this time. It's allowed Floppy to get real close, up close and personal. Wrap the corner, does concede the bomb plant in the end, but doesn't concede the round. A very expensive round from Astralis, though. Only pistols pulled out. 4 casualties in a plant. I'd be happy.
Yeah, definitely so. And that keeps pressure on, makes it uneasy there for Complexity. And as a whole, even though that play of just slowly walking the Deagle forward and trying to engage onto Grim and from Temple did not work out, it's what happened after the fact that was really successful. Cutting the rotates down from that city spawn area, putting pressure down towards that donut position. And Astralis could be very happy with the damage that's been done. Complexity on the rebuy, just consistently trying to see if they can keep pushing forward and keep adding rounds to their tally.
Double AWP set in. Once again for Complexity, doing well enough on this setup with the AKs, especially chiming in as effective. Junior pressing in towards elbow, might catch Config, seeing the shoulder, must have seen at least a pixel, knowing that he's out there, holds the angle intently, and gets credited with his patience, gets rewarded for his kill. A 5 on 4, Complexity with the advantage, and Astralis start walking into the B site. Effect Shadow seen, but still he gets JT. Don't know what it is about these Astralis picks, but they look so effective sometimes. Another kill found by Ziff. BlameF gets traded, it's a 3v3. Bomb yet to commit to site entirely, but Zipex is still looking for more into the back lanes. Flash round the corner, Junior's all's been seen, and Ziff backs off.
Junior, just with this AWP, doesn't know where to reposition to and actually loses that AWP fight. Zipmix can start getting further aggressive. They can't quite get the bomb down because Glaive falls.
Farlig also tagged a little bit. Zipex looking to try and make another play. 2 to his name already. They wrap the corner and he gets banged. Grim caught off guard with the AWP shot. And at 22 points of HP, Zipex will win the clutch. A quadra to his name and 14 for Astralis.
What a round that is. Just off the back of almost winning an eco victory, you now really start putting pressure down onto the Complexity members of what is the buy territory going into round 24. Fantastic clinical entries towards the A side. And then even when things get difficult, when the bomb doesn't quite go down, Zipex is still able to step up. And for Complexity, I mean, just look at what they're working with going into the next.
Deagle's pulled out here on the Complexity side, wrecked on their own economy state. Glaive already picking up Fang. As Grim will take a trade back, Farlig will respond towards that man with a pistol of his own right. BlameF dead, the trade back, Zipex is deaf. So Junior's in a 1v3.
I think you've got to go hunting, really, on this last player. Once you get the bomb down, realize the importance of dropping the few. Junior does catch off BlameF in window, so that's already information to come through. And with him repositioning over towards the B site, he's got to back himself with the confidence to get this clutch together.
Incendiary's down. Junior is AWP up, faces around, catches Glaive on the way out, but he doesn't ignite a bomb plant. Leg down by Farlig's AWP in an AWP v AWP battle. Who's going to take this round? Who's going to take control for Astralis? It would mean match point and group point for them. Junior desperately watching for an extension, but Farlig knows there's only one place he can attack from, and with low HP being on that individual, as long as he protects the bomb, that's all he has to do. AWP leans up, no scope doesn't connect it, face out to the left-hand side, the AWP scopes in, and looks for Farlig around the edge of the box, but Farlig knows how to outplay him. A second missed AWP shot, gives the Glock his kill, and the 15th round does go the way of Astralis. 6 match points above Complexity, who now have a completely broken economy.
And that's a phenomenal effort. For you to really try and make that winnable, that's not easy in a 1v3 at all. And he tries the best to draw him. You can see how long he's holding that sight line out from Temple for the reface, and it just does not come in at all. Farlig, the newest player, gets him down with the last bullet, and 15 on the board. Astralis have got one more to go, and we're not even working with an M4 from Complexity in the next.
Famas being the best 2 weapons on Grim and Junior. Fast plays in from the T-side line. Config wants to end this quick, and JT's fallen for it. Junior at least comes up with a double, but Floppy doesn't last much longer. Junior makes it a triple, in fact. Back out to the long entrance. He's on for the quadra, but Zipex finally puts it down. Bomb dropped in the site. 2v2 should get picked up and planted soon. They've got time to work with, however, Astralis.
Start putting some of these nades in that cave position. There is a backstab out from Ramp. It's being watched for a moment here from Farlig. The Deagle gets the headshot and now forces it down to Zip to clutch again.
Once again for the 1v2, on for the 3K. Turned away from the Deagle at first, but the spray comes up good anyways. No idea where Grim's coming from though. Thinking he might still be back at cave. The damage being heard against the man doesn't quite come through for Zipex. And the kill comes back for Complexity, who defend a lifeline for now.
Yeah, definitely been more back and forth with the clutches being won from both respected teams when it comes here to the third map of Ancient. And put yourself in a stance here for Astralis where can't really buy, so lightly eco into round 26, get those rifles in to follow. And Complexity, it's a lifeline, and you're hanging on.
15-10. Harsh eco back for Astralis. Blocks out, P250, no Kevlar, a little bit of util that was just used to get the flashes in towards his lane position, and Floppy, where he takes 2 fights and wins them both. Junior's AWP lands on Glaive and Farlig, and not quite on Blame F, but there's plenty of players around him that should be able to get the trade. Junior, in fact, takes down Floppy, so that's what, 8 TKs to add to the tally of Complexity so far this series? Something along those lines. It has been a little bit silly. This is not intentional. 11 to the board, 4 to go.
Yeah, 1 round at a time for Complexity, and realistically speaking, you're going to have a rifle round against you on round 27, round 29, and partially round 30, depending on if continuous bomb plants go through. So you're up against a healthy amount of weaponry rounds that are going to be flowing through from Astralis, and even these early nades out from Elbow aren't going to do any damage because no one's fighting mid early round from Astralis in case they're taking the respect of just playing back passive instead.
There's Grim picking up the frag on Blame F. JT following suit to Zipex, but Farlig through the smoke finds him responsive. So 4 versus 3. Still favourable to a Complexity. Regain control as they dominate lane. The teams have to rotate back up to position. They have got a lurk out from Config and an Elbow. That could be a bit of a concern. For the most part, it's a standoff.
It's a crazy lack of map control as a whole here for Astralis. So what they really need to do is knuckle down on forcing a mistake. And Config's been able to slowly walk his way out from Elbow. He's trying to see if he could draw one of these CTs back in towards mid. Finally with the crosshair placement. Oh, just quick switching at the worst time.
Frag found a 4 versus 2. Flashes in, Floppy spotting likes of Glaive and dishing out some decent damage. 33 HP. The Galil continues to burst fire. Config works his way up towards mid to try and flank in against them and try and provide a bit of support from the other side of lane. Not going to work for him though. JT ready. A 1v4 for the Galil on lane. 33 HP. Port with the knife out. Complexity starting to bring this back. 3 to go.
Yeah, very nicely done. I like the achievement of really capitalizing on taking mid control, putting pressure down from the bottom of mid, making it uncomfortable for the players out from the doors. And you even have a situation there from Astralis where it gets slightly gimmicky, that there's a flash over the top and Blame F just wants to run through the smoke to try and catch them off guard. But Complexity are better than that. They're watching for all of their angles in case of any of those quick maneuvers. And now into round 28, we'll get the light eco again.
Yeah, Deagles and Glocks in, 2 players with the hand cannons. Nothing major for Astralis, at least it should be. Okay, Floppy spots 2, gets 2, gets 3. Doesn't quite tap onto the 4th man, so a little bit of lost riflery there, but we should be seeing the returns come through from the CT side regardless. Kill on Glaive, Farlig in a 1 versus 4. Get the AK back if they want to. Nothing major in this round though. Complexity with an easy 13th for Astralis. It's about the rifles in round 29.
I've got to imagine a tactical pause is starting to loom in question of when it's next going to come through for the Danes. And Farlig just trying to see if he can get any more out of this round, but not to be. 1 kill gets found on the eco, not a massive amount at all. So 13 on the board for Complexity. And now with the money float, you're working with the max round loss bonus. We're going to get a buy here from Astralis. If they can get a bomb plant, we'll get a very good looking buy as well for them into round 30. So Complexity, no, let's just keep up the tempo, keep the confidence up, and let's bring it to OT.
Drag this out a little bit longer if possible. Try and do what they could not do over on Nuke. Get to OT and try and win out the series and claim their own spot in the playoffs. Run boost for Junior. Almost whiffed it out there. Smoke down at the window and he'll lean in against the T-side player at Blame F. Can't quite catch the info or can't quite catch the shot towards him. Probably saw the utility coming out of the B doors though. Meanwhile, Astralis Flash is coming in, the walk out towards the A site. It will be Config, the first man in. Great flash against Fang. He wasn't expecting that. He's ready for contact alongside Grim, also inbound. Great smoke, however, suppresses vision.
Yeah, just needs to fall back. Grim's going to try and hug on that left-hand side, see if he can spot a gap. The bomb plan is going to go down. Grim's got to over-aggressive. He wants to deny it.
Farley gets floppy as they let the bomb get planted. JT with 2, Config on a backstab, but his teammates on the center of the site have fallen. It's all to blame F now, coming in towards main, but Config's backstab slowly but surely creeps in. Shot to JT, pulls distraction. Blame F gets Grim, 2 versus 2 on the defuse. Fang tapped it once. A counter backstab to Config comes through from Junior, and Blame F with no idea where Fang is at. Ahead of that smoke, Junior's on the defuse right now. Blame's got to swing towards it. And they're going to hold the defuse. He'll hold the rifle, and Complexity hold the round.
Just when you think that's going to be the one to do so, to overwhelm the bomb site, to not allow the denial of the bomb plan at all, for them to start taking map control into that temple position, it felt as if all the advantages were there for Astralis, but JT up on that retake coming through from CT Spawn. His multi-frag with the M4A1S was the complete difference maker, and in that one there, hold on to the AK, bring it into the next round. 15 to 14, Complexity really coming back into this on Ancient.
They might be bowing out of Pro League, but they look to bow out in a blaze of glory. Astralis, Complexity step up in towards the main position, but Config just takes off Grim's head. Straight into the A site they'll go once again, removing the main center of defensive. The bomb should get planted, or does it? It backs out of main, leaves Config as the lurk flank.
Oh, this is very unorthodox. And with this in mind, you're just pulling distraction, pulling those rotates. Even Floppy down aggressive in mid's got no idea this is the play.
Oh, and the shot comes into Junior. Fang trades it, and now they recognize what's going on. There's no one left on the A site. Blame's already made his way up to B. The bomb will definitely go down, and Blame could cut them off at first contact.
Yeah, of course he can. Get aggressive, make it uncomfortable for JT. The swing on the contact, see the first. Now he can slow it down with the molly.
To suppress them out of the site, make sure they can't get to the back lane. Blame's watching for everything. Flash forward, will not allow a peek. They're just trying to do everything they can to suppress whatever little utility the T-side have. Nade damage, round the corner they will look to go, but Blame, blind as a bat, still gets his kill. Floppy with a responsive, a 3-on-2 now. Zipex watches, sprays through, Floppy brings it back to evens one more time. Farlig trying to hide around the totem, swing out, get the headshot, see where Fang is at, and that calls info for Clay. The same, doesn't need to respond. It's Farlig with a double, and a 16 to 14, 2-1 series victory for Astralis, already finding their place in the playoffs, but securing it with a big win to close the group stage.
Oh, they can take a breath after that one. What a finale in round 30 coming through from Astralis.